No.
So, when we last left off, the party had helped in saving Need from total destruction after a sudden attack of Kargas, creatures that move through the grounds, creatures belonging to the elemental plane of Earth. Coming to the material plane, they were lost and disturbed and frightened and began to move randomly, sporadically throughout the ground, causing several holes to pierce up and down through the terrain that is Need, as well as, destroying houses and killing people in the process. All of this, in which, is due to the effects of Ty, Mai's brother, who has it out for the party as they have taken his sister away from them. But the party does not know this, nor the assassination attempt against Talia. And yet, the party decided to stay and help in maintaining some sort of order and abating the chaos that came. You all have accomplished different things and helped people escape and the production, but now the crisis has been averted, and you all are looking about at this strange scene. The Defiants have risen up from the old Need down below and have come topside, assisting with the escape, and now with the diversion of water. Talia, as you stand there, exhausted, drained, standing almost on the precipice of one of these large holes, all around you, able-bodied men and women come and stand in place and push whatever they can to help slow and block the water flow before it does continue. Talia, you are fairly near one of these canals that the water is heavily rushing down. And behind you, a figure floats up, and Malachi assists you in levitating you out of the way of this torrent. And he looks at you with a smile and says, I thought you had different plans.
Oh, what? You were just going to assume that I was gonna let this place flood with water and everyone was just gonna fucking die? Yeah, no thanks.
His face softens, and he gives you a deep and genuine smile. Thank you. You didn't have to stay. This world is not your own, and yet you still protected it, so for that I am truly grateful. It seems a little bit beyond the point now, but I suppose in lieu of this great service that you have done, I would like to offer this as a token of, well, I guess I'm undoing the aspect of being villainized. This may not be a token of friendship necessarily, but I do believe this belongs to you. And with a wave of his hand, a slit opens up in space and time, and he reaches his hand inside and pulls out a large magical tome. And he gives you a serious look. This thing seems quite dangerous. There's a lot of magic inside here, but it was on your person when it came here, so against my better judgment and against any other knowledge, I do believe this belongs to you.
No, I reach and grab the book and hold it really close to my chest, thinking of Miriam, my mother.
I understand that this came with you, and I am curious as to how you got it, and I suppose what its purpose. I was going to read through it, but I did not have the time. it's
Yeah.
it's difficult for me to trust things and, just simply allow things to happen without, investigating further. I am a scientist first and foremost, but sometimes it's better to just leave things the way they are and let them be what they are. So I will not question you, but I do trust you, and I hope you know that more than anything.
Yeah, I like slightly chuckle and I say, bold of you to assume that you would actually be able to get into the book without it trying to kill you.
Hence why I have been hesitant to do anything with it. Anywho.
It's my mom's book.
Oh,
She spent years collecting spells and stuff like that.
it didn't exactly seem like your style. Well, in that case, I am glad that I did not poke my nose into it. Do you intend on staying? Or do you need to hurry off to attend to whatever that business is?
Probably should. Do you think will you be able to take care of the people that are on the ground currently where we're at?
We, as always, will do what we can and tend to our own. I'm sure that you have much to do, but if you do ever find time and come back, I would be very interested in learning more about where you are from and how exactly we've met before, and perhaps how to streamline that process once again. I'd prefer not to have you save our lives every single time you come to visit. And with that, he just gives you a nod and flies off. It's about at this point that the sun is just cresting over the horizon. The clouds are beginning to darken. Long shadows are spilling over the ruins of the city. There are still a lot of buildings that are intact. There's, I would say, about 70% of what you can see of the city that just seems completely untouched, strewn about with these different, complete and utter swaths of destruction where buildings have been completely bulldozed, with nothing left behind. There are not any other significant effects such as fire or water at this point. All of that's sort of been, cordoned off or, sectioned to a safe aspect at this point. But what would everyone like to do?
Connor is... Would Connor still have that bullet that he pulled from Talia?
I believe so.
Connor is going to study it. He's going to go to his mind palace and try and study it.
Okay. Yeah, you step outside of the material world and back into that space between spaces. That very familiar yet unfamiliar room with a bunch of different random things that you know exactly where they are but have no idea what they do. And you are simply alone with your thoughts. What would you like to do?
Well, first I'm going to try and see if I have any kind of device, machine, what have you, to figure out this is me as a player's thinking. I'm trying to do ballistic analysis, figure out what what dimension this metal came from, and basically backtrack it from there. Okay, it came from here. Figure out how to go to there. Figure out who could have gotten it from there. Track that person down, and just basically try to find the end of the rope.
Okay. A lot of this information we have gone over already. It is black iron, which is a not necessarily rare material, but it is not super common. Not people use it. It's one of those things where, it's something fancy like, ivory or Damascus steel, like there is like a specific place to get it and it has limited uses. Most people don't use it because it's hard to manufacture, but it's not like, specific and, to the point where it's the best of what it is. But if you use this, you are specifically going out of your way to, it's like nobody just gets a pink Fiat just randomly. You have to like custom order that.
So I can't figure out like what dimension this could have been from, like a weird little fingerprint residue type vibe.
If you want to try and figure out what dimension it came from, it would be very difficult, and you also wouldn't know if that's, useful at all.
Alright. I'm gonna also try to see if I can find books on Kitangu. Like, again, same criteria, like not for the specific name Kitangu, like I'm gonna keep my peels for it, but look for, like,
didn't you already gather some like books on like lore and stuff or something like
no, I didn't.
Earlier in the week, like before the
I was like flat out drunk with Joshua, so I did not really look.
I thought sometime before the barbecue you guys got sober and went and looked at like some books in like the lower elements of the city, trying to get some information. I thought you had like gathered some like generic books, but hadn't really gotten too deep on anything specific.
I don't think I found anything.
You found like some stuff about like generically like a person at the end of the world, but no names such as Kitangu through any sort of literature that you were able to find. At least not in this world.
Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, this place is very familiar but unfamiliar, and obviously it's very important to me as Connor. Otherwise, why would my mind palace be molded to be like this? So maybe there's like,
oh, you want to try and interact with some of the stuff that's in the Mind Palace?
Yeah, see if like I can find like a journal, books, like information that could like.
The general idea of how the Mind Palace works is that it is like a space, but it's more like a memory. So in order to sort of interact with it, it's not like you walking into a room and interacting with stuff. You will have to try and remember if you know how to interact with anything. Imagine it like you scanned like a digital layout of a place and you sort of walked into the holodeck of it, and if you wanted to interact with a book that's on like a table or something, it would just be like a square with a texture on it that is like a table. It's not like an interactable object basically. So these are all like very vague shapes that are just kind of like dark and filling up the space to give you like a sense of like what's up and what's down, so you can walk around. But there's not really a whole lot of stuff that you can necessarily interact with unless there is something very specific that you are looking at, that you are trying to recall or whatnot.
I'm just trying to figure out who Kitangu is. Like I know what everyone else has told me about him, or what Joshua told me about him, but like, I don't know, it's like, I think for Connor, it's, when the word Kitangu hits, like, it hits a weird string in the back of his head. Like, I should know this name. It sounds profoundly familiar, but it's like not connecting to anything. Does that kind of make sense for?
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
I'm just
like,
struggling to figure out how to help you in this situation because you don't necessarily have any leads that you can work on at the moment.
Well, Connor's going to.
You want to just sit and meditate on it or something? Like look inwardly?
Connor's going to sit in his mind palace and think. I think Connor would have like some kind of, given like Josh or one of them, some kind of means to communicate with him while he's in the palace. So like, they really need him. He can come back, but for now he's gonna sit down and meditate.
And maybe this is the reason why Connor was absent during the crisis, because he stepped away, and then when the attack happened, nobody called him or whatever, or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's like, or maybe Kitango's rebuilding up, kind of like doing a weird backup deal. Like, okay, this kind of learned too much, so I'm just uploading the one before him, so it's like a blank slate almost.
Okay. Do you want to try and do something specific, or do you want to think about it and come back? Because we can go to some other people.
Right now, off the top of my head, is trying to figure out Kitang. Like, that's
go ahead and give me a D100 roll. Let's just
a D100.
Let's just feel this out. We're just Calvin Bowling here.
25. I got a quarter. Shoot from the hip.
With a 25, as you sit alone with your own thoughts by yourself, thinking about Kitangu, that strange name, what kind of person would that be? The stories that you've told, describing him as someone that is you or was you or is creating you, and other versions of you. A lot of it doesn't seem to add up. A lot of it doesn't make any sense. The idea that he's made copies of someone or something, maybe himself. He split his consciousness into these bodies. Are they simple drones that can only see and hear? Then why do they have free will? Why do they have personalities? Are you aspects of him? Is that why? There's just a lot about his plan and the execution of it that doesn't seem to add up and makes you think that perhaps it's not the most well-rounded or thought-up thing at all, and perhaps could simply be just a last-ditch effort. It's just sort of a plan that's been scrabbled together.
Connor just sits there with this realization of a possibility. Like, the way they made Kitangu sound, like, he sounded very, I'm gonna say godly, because, like, this Connor hasn't met Kitangu. He doesn't know the vibe of him. The way he sounds almost godly-ish.
Yeah.
So
he seemed to, like, possess this great power and was in this very, place that was very,
beyond anyone's
awe-inspiring
really
and whatnot. And yet it also seems a bit run down, and, he's lost in thought and sort of confused and forgetful even, and, not all there, perhaps.
So this kind of worries Connor. Like, if Connor's this is like Connor's going all this. Connor's like all the version trying to keep this in house. Like, he doesn't want to broadcast this as much as he can. He's trying to keep all this thought to himself, because he's like, last Connor got too close to Kitangu and was basically reset it. So now I got to keep this very in house, and is thinking Kitangu is practically a god, and yet he made such a half-baked plan, and is trying to figure out, am I Kitangu before he became a god, or is Kitangu trying to escape godhood in some weird way, or like what's going through Kitangu's head in all this, and is Connor destined to become Kitangu? Like that's probably what's going through all of his head.
I will give you one other thing. As you are in this room that sort of seems to be an observatory for, viewing something greater, something larger upon this sort of raised platform, these nearby sort of stations or, equipment set up in this strange array, you do know that there are 2 doorways on either side of this large chamber. And you start to think about something. And I will give you an option on which doorway you would like to think about. The one on the left or the one on the right. And you don't have to answer right now if you don't want to.
I'll take the left.
Okay. I was going to say if you wanted to do like an insight check to sort of get a general idea of what the two options could be. Yeah, an insight check.
Okay. Sorry, I made that one. I got a 26.
Okay. With the door on the left, it seems like it could be maybe perhaps leading to more pathways and options, and maybe it seems like it could perhaps open up to something bigger with more doorways, perhaps even stairs, where it seems like the thing on the right, the door on the right, leads to some very specific rooms with like very distinct destinations that have utilities or perhaps information.
I think with all this mystery that's going on, and Connor being Connor, where he's basically an amalgamation of nearly all possibilities for, at least for Connor, this specific for Connor, I think he's going to decide to take the singular option and go towards the right door.
Okay.
Because he wants to know.
And as you go to the right door, it leads you into the space that has a hallway to the right. And as it continues forward, it seems to open up into a larger chamber, which doesn't seem as important, but does have a set of stairs that would go up to the observatory room overlooking the room that you were just in. But as you go to the right down this hallway, it seems like that could be where the magic happens, where, things are made or remade.
I go towards the magic.
Okay. You round another corner to the right, which puts you sort of behind the first large room that you're in, and you can see a absolute cluster of junk and tables and cogs and gears and wires and shapes of things and metals and materials, organic and inorganic, that are just strewn about in this strange way. But you also see something that sort of looks like a furnace or some sort of fire, and like chains hanging in a situation that would like move an object, perhaps machinery or livestock. There's just a whole bunch of nonsense here that seems to be working or interacting, and you can't seem to narrow it down. But it is interesting.
Can I approach one of the tables and see if there's something that looks like a head or a face? Try and see if figure out what's being trying to go to one of the tables and figure out what.
It looks like there's
made.
not any one specific thing that's being made, but this is a space where pretty much anything and everything that you could think of could be made.
I'm going to explore this more. I want to.
Okay. And we'll come back to you with that as you're exploring that. Jumping back to Need in its current situation and where it's currently at and what's happening there. Who wants to pick up with something?
Jack's got something he'd like to figure out.
All right.
He's going to assess the tunnels that these worms built. How far across are the tunnels?
They do range in size a little bit, but for the most part, they're usually about let's see. I want to give a relatively accurate. Let's see. Some of them reach between like maybe some of the bigger ones where they're sort of thrashing around are like 200 feet. But most of them are like there are no holes that are smaller than say like 60 feet.
Okay, then the holes that are going from Old Need up into New Need, I think Jack's gonna start organizing some work crews to start like building like a circular stairwell that goes up those holes to promote more access between upstairs and downstairs, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Sort of, and this is a relatively idea.
And maybe even some of the maybe even some of the bigger holes they could rig up some sort of like elevator system for moving cargo from top side to downside as well, or vice versa.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely one of the biggest things that people are looking to do is find some way to, provide more structure to the new situation that is now. People aren't looking to just cover up the holes. They are actually looking to make some sort of structure system, and utilizing these holes is definitely a good option that's being thrown around. Do you have any sort of specific designs, or are you just wanting to help in the construction? What specific angle are you trying to take here?
Well, the angle I would probably be trying to take would be to gather a group of engineer-type people who I know can accomplish the job, because this is beyond my purview, but I probably know the people who know how to do the job, so I would want to be hunting them down and getting them on task.
Sure. Let's start with just a generic persuasion check, just to sort of get everyone together. Just to sort of kick off this idea.
Okay. That would be a 19.
Yes, absolutely. You are easily able to find the people that you are looking for, and you are able to sort of get them on board, get them working collaboratively. As you bring these people together, they're just absolutely working off of each other, and this idea is just automatically going. They're also pulling in their connections. People are just moving, There's this thing that ever since this crisis that's happened, old need and new need are not even a thought anymore. There's just this combined effort of like neighbor and neighbor, people that you pass on the street. Nobody's judging anymore. Everyone's grimy, everyone's dirty, everyone's hurting, but we're working together and we're just going and doing stuff. Every able-bodied person is working in tandem to make this happen. I guess you've brought this together, so you have gathered a bunch of experts. I suppose it is my turn to roll to see how well this work is going, unless you would like to assist in the actual, if you want to sort of expedite the process or assist in some other way.
Let's see.
And if you just want to sort of help in the physical labor,
I guess
that could be.
Yeah, I could do that for sure.
All right. I will allow you to roll whatever skill or ability check you think is relevant here, whether it be just a simple strength check or constitution, perhaps, or dexterity. Whichever sort of physical aspect, or if you have a skill you'd like to.
I'll go and just go with the strength check.
Okay.
That's going to be mostly moving stuff around. That is a 13.
Okay. The sort of collaborative effort is pulling in ideas and getting forces together. The unfortunate thing is that the resources is the biggest problem at the moment. So it's not that they can't do it, but that they don't necessarily have what's necessary in order to actually accomplish this goal. Again, Old Need is dug so deep below New Need that, in order to, approach a project like this would take so much, time and preparation and materials, that it's not that people aren't willing to do this. It's, unfortunately, even with advantage, I rolled a 4 both times. So it's not that the idea is not feasible. It's just that currently there's so much other stuff going on. At this point, there is sort of, a lot of catwalks being built. There's definitely framework at least in place. None of it's necessarily structural yet, but people are, preparing, and it just sort of depends on how well things can get back into a sense of normalcy and some order can be restored.
Is there a chance I could give him triple advantage? By assisting on gathering materials and or...
Okay, how would you be gathering materials?
Via my family's businesses, I would assume. Given that we are in a state of emergency, I feel like having more liquid assets so that we may purchase materials and be given to...
Alright, what skill do you think is relevant to this? Because you will be rolling a check to see if you can assist.
Persuasion, I would assume.
Alright, go ahead and roll persuasion with disadvantage. Not because of your current standing, but because of Need's current standing.
Okay. Why is it not rolling?
Somebody have a bird?
Great how it's starting.
No, that was me opening up one of my sliding French doors.
Oh,
To let the dog in the other room.
nice.
Not French door, but pocket door.
Right.
One of them is a 27, and one of them is a 23.
Okay.
Nice.
You are able to go to a lot of people that, were relatively untouched, and, the kind of sort of, disgruntled bureaucrats that are withholding, all their sort of prized resources, and you were able to convince them that, there is no better time to sell than now. You are not just giving away your stuff for charity. You are investing in the business that is Need. Your, sort of aspects of, providing in this time will prolong your businesses so deeply in the future. You are building the foundation of a new empire, and that convinces these people to sort of provide. I will go ahead and roll with triple advantage, because rolling 2 4s is pretty nasty. I'm gonna count that as interference. I'm gonna roll again. Okay, that did add 10 to it. So
Okay.
and I will say that, giving some general bonuses to, the quality of resources that, Holgear is providing, and the exceptional capabilities of the people that Jack is bringing, I'm going to consider that a success. It is going to take time. It is going to take effort. Blood, sweat, and tears are what is needed to build this, city anew. But this idea of connecting the two planes and, making a relative commerce around this is already thriving. People are coming up and going down and taking materials like fallen debris and rubble and rocks and already moving and making much stuff and nonsense out of it, that it is, these spiraling stairways are not just being built in this one hole, but in many others all across the city. Is there anything else anyone would like to do at this point?
Nothing to help for the greater good of need. But I would like to identify some items.
Okay, what would you like to identify?
A few items, actually. We had a broken sword hilt.
Okay.
A red velvet sash. That was an identification thing. And one other thing.
And this is all stuff that you purloined from the, like a drowned ship, is that right?
Yeah, the original drowned ships.
Okay. That's been some time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will say, like, during one of the evenings that you're, or whenever you're able to sort of take a break, and you're resting by yourself, I will say that for now you can choose one thing. I'm not trying to make this go like by a day-by-day process, but let's just start with one for now.
I've been wondering about this sash for ages. I know it's used as a badge or identification, but I don't know for what.
Yeah, that. Wait, did I give it a specific name?
No, I just wrote it in as a custom item, red velvet sash.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that the red velvet sash is not magical. It's just a fancifully, it's just an item that is of high quality, which lets you know that it's possibly related to, some sort of higher status, maybe not royalty, but it does have an insignia on it.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, by identify I meant like identifying what it was, who it belongs to.
Okay. This is stuff from Aiden, which is not this realm of reality, so you would not have any information on that. You would have to probably talk to someone like Talia or other people from that dimension if you want to try and get any information.
Okay, would that also apply for the sword hilt?
The sword hilt is magical.
Oh. In that case, yes, I would love to.
Okay, you just want to identify it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. It is a sword of gleaming, which means it's basically like a moon-touched sword where, it glows with like a activation word or whatnot. But it also does shoot like beams of light, basically like not like a laser pointer, but like a very focused flashlight sort of thing. So it basically acts like a hooded lantern.
Okay.
But it is broken at the moment. A sort of hooded lantern. Or if you would just want to call it sort of beaming, yeah. But yeah. You can use it as a normal lantern at the moment. It is like a very dim flickering light when you try to activate it, but it doesn't have the focusing length of the blade to use, and you also can't use it as a weapon.
I have a lantern sword.
Yes, indeed you do.
Hell yeah.
Does Joshua or Talia want to do anything?
Well, now that I got my mom's tome back, is it okay if I just start reading through it?
Hold on a second. Sorry, what were you saying?
I said, now that I have my mom's tome back, is it okay if I just read through it and stuff like that?
Sure. as you look through every page, there is like a new spell. Basically, every single page. The pagers are in two sets. Basically, on one page, it describes the the spell, the incantation, whatnot, and then on the right is like some extra notes, sort of detailing how it was got, what it can be used for, and if it is a custom spell that your mom made, how she made it, and that sort of stuff. It is a lot of technical jargon that may be a little bit difficult to sort of decipher through, but you can definitely get the gist of like, oh, this is like a spell that uses transmutation to change gravity around something or whatnot. I mean, occasionally there are like open pages and you just have like the technical jargon page on the right to sort of read about like what's supposed to go here or how your mom was figuring out how to get this spell and whatnot. But other than sort of being a literal library of spells, there's not a whole lot extra going on. And you can like flip through and look through, there aren't any loose pages or bookmarks or anything. There's just sort of the note at the front that says that it's for you because she wants to give you everything. And then at the very end, it just sort of ends, basically.
I think that's all for me as of right now. Other than like maybe me wanting to like try and find the group, because
yeah, I'm sure you can find the group. It would like take some effort, but you could absolutely do that. Are you trying to meet up and do anything with anyone in particular, or?
No, I'm just trying to get back to the group because.
Okay.
Like just cause like.
I will say this, because you're the first one to point it out, is that you do notice that you've been able to find everyone except for Mai. I think I'll do this though, because when you find Joshua, he has a note, and written on it, it says, "I'm off on a personal matter for a bit. Please stay safe and do not come looking for me if I am gone longer than a week. And if I do not return, I'm sorry." And it's wrapped in Joshua's bracelet, which leads you to believe that it was written by Mai, since Mai had Joshua's bracelet.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Probably not.
Well, you know what they say. When they say don't come and try and find them, what do?
Not try
You
and
go
find them and respect their wishes?
No, screw their wishes. You go out and fucking find them because you don't know whether or not they could be in danger or not. Especially, I don't know, it's just, something bad could happen.
But isn't Mai like a fully experienced adventurer at this point? Aren't we all? And aren't we all kinda adults? Shouldn't we respect our friends' wishes?
For that.
Right, do you know how to track a person then?
I mean,
she's accomplished more impossible feats.
Exactly. Unlike some.
Yeah, Jack might be able to lend a little hand with doing that.
A little.
Yeah, if this is absolutely a discussion that you want to have as a group and bring it up together, I will say that everybody's here.
Yay, the group is back together. Joshua slides the bracelet on.
It doesn't feel as welcoming as you would think to have this thing back, you know. You were hoping it would give you some sort of solace or comfort, but it feels melancholy.
I guess we really were friends.
Okay. Is that it?
Let's have this freaking discussion. Holger, Jack, what do you guys think? I mean,
Should we
can't just
respect our friends' wishes or track them down?
Does anybody have any reasonable way to track them down, even if we could?
And assumed you could,
Well,
Jack.
I'm thinking that most likely the reason Mai took off by herself was to go meet her brother. So, how much do we want to intrude at to begin with?
We are.
I see no other reason why she took off by herself.
That has kind of been her entire motivation ever since you met her.
Oh, there's an assassin going around and putting bullets into the crew, so I think we should probably stick together and not go wandering off.
That is also a fair point.
Well, it was her brother that was doing it, so...
You don't know that.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Only Mai saw him, and she hasn't told anybody.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that, Talia didn't see who did it.
Yep. Talia was almost knocked unconscious.
Who knows? Maybe
Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I was almost dead. I only had 1 hit point left.
I thought you had like 4 or something.
No, I think I only had like 1.
Okay.
Was it?
Then she got lowered down to 1 due to the surgery to get the bullet out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I almost freaking died.
I'm sorry.
I don't like
I
this
heard
character.
surgeon.
And I don't like this character. Thankfully I have a backup. Don't get any ideas, Sparrow.
What?
Oh no, Sparrow's gonna murder Talia.
Better not murder me.
I mean, if anything, you should have taken that one instance that I very much have plans to kill everybody now, so be on your toes.
No.
Anywho, we're getting distracted. I do have scenes that I want to that I want to do, but I want to give everyone the option to do some sort of generic downtown activity before jumping into that, and then I was going to give you guys another round. So Joshua and Talia, if you didn't have any sort of specific things that you didn't want to accomplish at the moment, I can sort of move into that.
As far as I know, if you can go on ahead, I don't have anything to do really. As far
Okay.
as I can think of.
Joshua, do you want to seek medical attention?
I'd very much
I
like to
mean-
do that.
Okay, yeah,
Actually,
actually, both of you could seek medical attention if you want.
Yeah, because I got 33 out of 91 hit points. I need some fucking medical attention.
Jesus.
Oh, that pairs well with what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if I could volunteer at the hospital where Nanny's at.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, man, your 33 out of 99 isn't nearly as bad as Joshua's 4 out of 33.
Oh, I have
90.
2.
Oh, that's
I
right.
said 91. I said 91,
Anywho,
not 99.
whatever. The point is exponential. Anyways.
Shut up.
Yeah, Holger, if you want to go assist at the hospital, I think there are a lot of sort of medical stations being set up, or would you prefer to go to one of the actual hospitals, Holger? I assume you're wanting to go one of the actual hospitals because you want to be checking in on Nanny as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figure I might pop into the burn ward and see the pile of ash that is him.
Who?
Joshua. 'Cause he
Oh,
burnt up.
I was talking about Nanny, and you talked about pile of ashes. And I was like,
Oh no,
Ex-
no, no! I
oh
said,
yeah, we like
visit
cremated
the
her
burn
last week.
ward.
Where have you been?
Jesus.
Oh no. I could have done it for free. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Wow.
That's literal fighting words.
Okay.
Riaman, you do eventually find out that Joshua is being held at the hospital, and you go and check on him. And when you do, you see a woman that's sort of like tending to him, like not medically tending to him, but helping make sure that he has like food and water. And as she like turns to walk out the door, as you're stepping in, you recognize her as Nanny. She says, "Oh, hello. Excuse me, young man. I'd like to get through." And she does not recognize you.
Oh no.
I think Holgir's going to step back.
Okay, and she walks past you.
There goes the levity of the situation. Goodbye. Yeah, I think Holger is gonna have a fucking moment in the hall.
In Joshua's
Uh,
doorway.
Yeah, and then
Joshua's just
afterwards,
gonna hop out of a window, let him deal with this on his own, cause
Talia's gonna like kind of like approach Holgi and be like, "Are you okay?"
the woman who raised me taught me my first words. Does not remember who I am.
How is that even possible?
There was a riot, and she was hurt. She was in a coma. So I guess she
Short-term.
woke.
Short-term memory loss, most likely.
This is very, very long term.
Hmm.
Do you want to inquire in the hospital about Nanny's situation?
Yeah, I definitely. After like a good half hour, I think he'd check in at the nurse's station.
Yeah. There are people that you can meet with, and the story's basically the same. Is that like when the attack first happened and these things started shaking the city, she was immediately shaken awake and just instantly sprung into action and just started working and tending to people and has not stopped since. She doesn't remember her name, where she's from, or anything. She has complete amnesia, but just feels like she knows that she needs to help people.
I think he's going to take comfort in the fact that she's comfortable and occupied. And before he leaves, I think he's going to try and not quite jog her memory, but like call out to her in his. She had a nickname in Elvish that she taught him, and I think he's going to call out to her in that name to see if it triggers anything.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Why disadvantage? Oh, well, yeah. Entirely reasonable to be disadvantage. 15 and 25. May I re-roll that 15?
You may, if you have a point of inspiration to use.
That was a nat 1.
Which means that the worst of those two is the nat 1, unfortunately.
Auto nat 20. No.
Okay.
I say no.
Which means that the lowest of the two is the 25 that you got?
Yes.
What is the name that you call her?
Menai.
You catch her in the middle of the hallway and she just sort of stops. She begins looking around.
I'll call out to her again.
She turns in your direction and looks through you. It seems like she's looking around and actually sort of bending down, like she's looking for perhaps a small person. And I think she actually turns to you and says, "Have you seen a little boy around here?"
Can I use silent image to make the 15-foot cube? Could I make that mini-me?
Yeah. Where does he appear and what does he do?
He's going to appear at my side wearing my clothes that I'm currently wearing, and I'm going to look up at me, and then we're going to mime, like, Siamese wave back at her.
Okay, that's kind of some horror stuff right there, but okay.
Okay, that is admittedly kind of thinking about it. Okay, that's
she looks incredibly confused, and then kind of shakes herself and says, I think I have to go. Excuse me? And she goes to move away.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you.
That's not what I would have done.
No.
I would have had her, like, appear maybe behind you or in a doorway and just run to her. But, okay.
I'm sorry, it's just the first thing that popped into my mind.
I think I would have made it to where the silent image like popped out of nowhere and kind of like said, "Hey, I'm right here," and then kind of like do little loops and then like make it like head towards you and then just disappear.
Yeah, see if she recognizes it first before her just... Anyways. I will give you this, though. As you turn and walk away, you see a figure hunched over outside of a room. Their form ragged and torn. Their clothes quite fine, but absolutely in shambles. You can see that they're bleeding from the side of their head, but it's sort of been loosely patched up. Their hands are covered in grime. Their fingers are cracked and bloodied. And you see this just complete shamble of a man. And when he looks up at you with his furrowed hair and mustache, you realize that it's your father.
Oh no.
And he looks at you with wide eyes and like slowly begins to stand, not looking away from you.
Does he look fresh out of the rubble?
He looks like he's been digging in the rubble with his bare hands. He takes a step towards you, and then another, and then quickly begins to move towards you and grabs you by your shoulders. And then he just pulls you in tight and wraps his arms around you.
Okay. I'll ease into the hug.
He begins shaking.
Unless he's trying to... unless he tries to suplex it.
No. Your dad is not a bear. But he takes you in this deep, loving hug. And he just begins sobbing. I thought you were dead.
No, I've just been very busy. Those worms weren't exactly easy to calm down.
He steps back and holds you at arm's length. And he gives you this long look into your eyes. And his face is devoid of any emotion. And he's just looking at you and he says, I have also been busy. I've been busy my entire life. I've taught you so many different things, and they were all the right thing, but for the wrong reasons. I don't want to be busy anymore. I'm sorry.
That's very surprising.
Yes. It took me a long time to realize, but I've been trying to make this world a better place for you, rather than teaching you how to live in it. You've had to do that by yourself, and I haven't been living it for a long time, for better or for worse. But we should have been doing it together. And I realize that now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just sort of gives you a few nods of shame.
I'll give him
Pats
one
your
last
shoulders.
hug and, I'll do one last side hug and then just ask him, is everybody else accounted for?
As you say that, his eyes begin to sadden. And as he steps away from you, one arm hangs on your shoulder, and he pulls you towards the door that he was standing outside of. And he leads you into a room where you see your mother laid out on a bed. A position you've seen her in many times. She is a person that chose to sleep her life away, especially upon being married to your father, and avoiding you and the children in general. Basically, every essence of the world she slowly began to avoid and hate, and just chose to sleep. But as you enter the room, she turns her head and looks at you with an emotion you can't begin to comprehend. But it's the first time you've ever experienced it. And she would look healthy and beautiful if it weren't for the fact that the lower half of her bed is vacant.
She's missing her legs or just torso
Yes.
down?
Her legs. From the knee down, her legs are gone. And she looks at you, and the longer she looks at you, her eyes begin to water, and her lip begins to quiver, and her head slowly begins to shake, almost as if she feels like she's let you down. As if she's remembering all the times she never got to do things like pick you up. And she just begins to weep. Slowly. Openly.
I'll set up a chair next to her bed and give her a shoulder to cry on.
Your father comes over and kneels down beside you. And each parent places a hand on your knee. Let's cut over to Talia. Talia, you are seeking respite within the hotel, or not the hotel, the hospital, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than just sort of regaining your health, is there anything that you were looking to do, gain, or anything?
Can I have one of the doctors or nurses examine the bullet wound that's on the back of my shoulder?
Okay.
See if I can get anything.
Yeah, they seem to notice that it's been completely healed over, so there's not a lot to look at, but they could tell that someone unprofessional cut into it. Other than that, there's not really any evidence of the original wound. Is there anything else you'd like?
Nah, I think that's all I want to. Other than getting more health, other than like restocking my health and stuff, that's all.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I guess we could cut back over to Connor if you want.
I'm fine with that if everyone else is.
You're what?
I'm fine with that if everyone else is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a while, and I think you were the first person to go, so.
Alright. Connor remains like in his meditative state, trying to piece the puzzles together, you know? And again, trying to keep this in-house because he doesn't want to get erased, kind of like his predecessor was with when he got too close to Kitangu. I mean, he's aware of how weird that sounds, trying to keep a secret from himself.
Have you come back to Need and seen the situation and attempted to assist in any way?
I guess I go to the hospital because I feel like that's probably where he thinks that's where he could probably help the most, and probably where everyone else would want to meet up at.
Okay. There's not one hospital, and there's also multiple health stations that have been set up.
Is there like any way you can get a hold of like the others and figure out what hospital they're at so you can meet up with them?
Sure. I mean, I guess when you guys met up, you knew that Hogyer was going to go visit and probably stay and help out at one particular hospital. I don't know whether or not he told you that that's because that's where his nanny is. But that's where Talia and Joshua went specifically because they just wanted to go somewhere professional to get immediate health and help.
Alright. Did I find anything while I was kind of communing with myself, I guess?
At the moment, what I've given you is what you have.
So I go and meet with my friends, and I'm going to keep the information I discovered a secret.
Okay.
I go in and I see my friends, and I be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Kind of putting on my wall of chaotic stupidity, I guess, is what would be a good description of it. And so I approach like Talia, and I assume Joshua's next to her.
I would say that probably Talia is the one least in need of like serious attention, so she's probably not given a room, but you all can like rest up here pretty easily.
I mean, like, are they like Talia, after Talia finished getting her stuff patched up, she went to go and like hang out with Joshua?
I mean, Joshua needed a greater restoration, and I'm actually going to roll to see if he gets one.
Gonna get Bardic Inspiration?
On who? On what? What are you doing with dice?
I don't know, I just wanted to help my friend.
This is me rolling on random to see if there is someone in the hospital that can help.
I'm just a friend trying to help his friend out. That's all I was doing.
Bardic gets inspiration is when you are trying to inspire your friend and help them in a situation. It's not something that you can just add to any roll to try and make it better.
I know. I was just
Okay.
being a little silly. Sorry, the tension was like so palpable earlier. I just instinctively try to soften it a bit.
There is someone that can help Joshua with his situation, but it'll have to be in the morning.
I'm gonna visit Josh.
Okay.
I knock on the door and be like, "Hey, Joshua, how you feeling?"
I thought I'd feel a lot better after having the divine power of a warlock patron flow through me, but I'm gonna be honest. I feel
It
like
sucks,
absolute
doesn't it?
shit.
It sucks, doesn't it? Don't worry. I've had a few myself that had a warlock patron. It's fun. It's a fun idea at first, but after a while, it kind of gets a little painful.
So, after I disintegrated my old guns, which I'm very mad about, I liked those, I got a little gift from my patron. I'm guessing as reparations for damages, I suppose. And got this. He pulls out the new bad juju.
Darn just immediately gets all started at like, whoa.
Literally just a gold-plated pepper box with
So
Joshua's name on it.
Dude, it has your name on it.
How many people did you have to kill to unlock that?
So many people. But
Many
worth
people.
it. But worth it. What is worth it to look cool?
So I do plan on experimenting a bit later with more firearm types, but I think this'll do most nicely.
Gonna be bringing some bad news to our enemies.
More like give them some bad juju.
Ah. Y'all saw what I did there?
Yes, I'll do.
Call out to the guys who know what I'm talking about.
Comment will get a heart if you say where it's from.
Oh yeah. I did a little bit of. I've tried digging around a little bit to figure out where that bullet that shot Talia came from.
I'm assuming it's from some kind of palm pistol or small arm. If it was pepper box or even hand mortar, it would have torn her flesh straight through, but this was just embedding into her flesh.
Would I know if that was the case or not? Because I don't think Connor's no stranger to firearms, but he's like.
Joshua
He's not
explains
expert.
the basics of ballistics to you, that it seemed like this may almost have been intentional to try and embed the foreign object inside of Talia, rather than actually trying to kill her outright in one
So
go.
you think someone like what?
I will
knew
straight
that
up give that to you guys, that this seemed like almost a way of torturing someone than actually trying to kill them.
So what you're saying is someone knew that Talia was some kind of like divine being and got a form of material that was so freaking rare that in most of my lifetimes I've only ever been able to see them behind a pane of glass.
They found a kryptonite that would have been toxic to a demigod, yeah.
Yeah, that's like me talking to Joshua, just making sure he understands like this is not some like dime a dozen lead type deal. This is like
with
this is
the
something-
amount of research that you guys have done and talk, I will go ahead and give that to you.
Okay. I know, it's just like this is like me and Joshua. Like like Joshua explaining to me on this, and I'm explaining to him on the middle. Like that's just like how it is. Like I'm trying to figure out with Joshua's help, like who could have the know-how to get this material and be able to actually fire it out because it's so rare.
Yeah.
I believe it's somebody with the same expertise as me, meaning a gunslinger. Somebody with the basics taught to them by another gunslinger.
How many of those are
Alex,
there?
well, from standard communications with a few fellows of mine back in my criminal days, and just estimation purely on population in this continent alone, I'd say fuck ton.
Shit. I don't know. It's very weird, man. Like, how could someone know that Talia is some demigod and get a bullet made specifically to do that to her?
It's entirely possible we're dealing with some kind of sorcerer or wizard.
Joshua, just to be clear, because you did say something that I do want to clarify about the continuity of this world. Firearms have not been invented in this world. You invented firearms. You have basically invented a conduit in order for you to use your innate sort of fire magic because you are fire genasi. But guns and firearms, if they have been invented, are absolutely not common and are still works in progress that will explode on people.
You hear that, Joshua? You're a trailblazer.
Cannons haven't even been common enough on ships yet.
Alright.
We're still in
Can we
bows and
retcon
crossbows.
We've retconned that little conversation.
Yes. So,
Thank you.
just to be clear.
Well, with a few friends from my olden days and current population and advancement of technology, I'm guessing total population of gun users or gunslingers are approximately 0 with the same advancements as I. Meaning they don't have the know-how to create something as small as a palm pistol and not fuck it up.
I will give you this. Joshua, roll a history check.
Fuck. Where's my dice?
Does he have advantage because like he's talking to me and
I'm
dumb person?
I'm gonna say that because of what this is, I just want him to roll real quick.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's like dumb person perspective. Like I'm an idiot on this, so dumb it down for me.
No. This
I rolled
is
a 4.
Connor, I will let you give him some sort of assistance.
Can I give him bardic inspiration?
Okay, what's your inspiration dice?
My inspiration dice is actually before I do my bardic, I'm gonna give you inspiration.
It's like a D8, right?
Actually, yeah, I have a spell I could cast. All right, enhance ability, and give him Fox's cunning, so he has advantage on intelligence checks.
All right, go ahead and roll with advantage. Actually, you don't need to expend a spell slot. Not that it really matters. Y'all are gonna take a long rest anyway. You're giving him the help action, which gives him advantage. Joshua, roll again.
Okay, I just wanted to like help you as a player.
Rolled a 17.
Okay. You have this thought that sort of comes to you as your experience as a gunsmith. Your crafting and creation of it is not just set in this world alone, but through the various experiences that you've had and coming across the different levels of technology in other worlds, both advanced and limited. Your necessity for creating ranged combat weapons is basically inspired by that. And that's sort of something that comes across you when you're sort of discussing things with Connor.
I'm sorry, you kind of got really robotic near the end of that. Can you say that again?
Your necessity for creating the idea of ranged weaponry comes not from this world that you are from, but from your experiences of traveling through other worlds.
Okay, thank you.
Take that as you will.
So, Connor, my dear friend, I do believe we're either messing around with a highly intelligent engineer, a wizard who copied my idea, I'm totally suing them for this, by the way, or some kind of alternate version of me. So,
Oh, great. We gotta fight alternate versions of us.
I really hope we're not dealing with, like, a dark version of our party. 'Cause, like, what even would that look like?
Well, I'd be the obvious exception because, I'm always going to be around no matter which version I take.
Well, it is a big multiverse. You never know.
Oh, I know. I know very well how large the multiverse is, my friend. I feel like Joshua consistently forgets exactly how connected Connors are.
Kind of
Is that
inconsistent, bro. No.
we like to do our own things. I live my lives, they live their lives, and I just pop in.
Anyway, I need a cold beer.
I secretly pull out a 6-pack and be like, I'm way ahead of you. I got our
Both of you roll
investigation-
con saves.
Ah. Damn you. I
Tell the
got that.
nurses.
And just to be clear, if Joshua takes 4 points of damage, he's dead.
Oh dear God. No.
Oh, crap.
Ah,
I
yes,
only have
a worthy
one.
sacrifice.
Let me do
If
something.
anything stronger.
No.
Honor, I kind of want a better last drink than slightly warm beer.
Can I do mass
No,
healing
it's
word
cold
on him?
beer.
Can I do mass healing word on him so he has like a
No.
one-
His max HP is 2.
Oh. Shit.
I'm literally at 2 hit points right now. My maximum amount of
The deal is that if you're at 0 hit points and you take damage, you lose a death saving throw. But if you take more than half your max HP, then you straight up die. So
I was
if
like, wait,
Holger
wait, are you
takes
sure
4
you're
points
allowed
of damage, he's dead.
Oh no. Wait.
Or not
Oh.
Holger, Joshua. Joshua, what did you
Okay.
get for your con save? And Connor.
Oh no. I got a dirty 20.
Okay, Connor, you're fine.
Can I use an auto 20?
You may.
I got a 21.
You glug the cold beverage down and immediately piss the bed. It just goes straight through you.
Oh, how nice. And I'm not wearing my good clothes.
You're not wearing your own clothes.
I didn't have a catheter.
You're wearing like generic clothes that were provided to you at the hospital.
Honor, tomorrow after I get treated, we're going clothes shopping. I don't care where, I'm getting gunslinging clothes.
Ooh,
I
we
feel
can
like
get
we're
invested
doing an
in
old-fashioned Western draw soon.
I hear there's a fire sale going on.
No, I punish you for that pun.
I hear all of the store cities are half off.
So, how's the beer?
Well,
The prices
glad
have
it
huge
wasn't my
holes in
last
them.
drink. I swear to God. I'm glad it wasn't my last drink. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wait, what? You were gonna die?
Connor, give him
Yeah, I
another
had a
beer.
very high likely of dying from drinking this.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, bro?
Connor, give him another drink. He only has so many natural 20s.
No,
Nah.
I'm
I see
saving
that.
the natural 20s for something really important.
Okay.
Now,
Now on, I only have 5.
oh, you shouldn't have told him then. Now he's gonna try to make you waste them.
I won't remember. I think let's end the touching scene there, and we'll come back to you guys. Let's cut over to Jack. Jack, what have you been up to other than sort of assisting in the construction of the in between stairway?
I don't know. That would take up a considerable amount of time. I don't think there's anything that I've really got going on right now that is more pressing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if you want to, you can absolutely spend all of your time and energy assisting with this, and some progress is being made. As it starts to get really dark, though, some sort of kind of group of people are like doing a dragnet and like urging people to go indoors and find shelter for the night. And as you guys are working, like a group of sort of armored individuals that you kind of recognize as what would have been the police force of New Need kind of come by and are like, "Hey guys, let's pack it up for the evening. There's lots of work to be done, but we can't do it if we can't take care of ourselves. Let's get some rest and we'll tackle it again in the morning."
Oh, Need Police is really nice.
Yeah, we should probably go get something to eat and drink before we do that. We should probably head off to the nearest tavern. Get a little food and drink for the night to put us to sleep.
Okay. As you do that,
I'm gonna be right back real quick.
okay. You come across an individual roaming about through Old Need. You find what?
Is it Jack?
No, it is in
Is it
fact
Jack?
this sort of obsidian golem. That's just sort of roaming around and just kind of like pushing over debris, and like people are sort of instructing it to like move stuff out of the way, and it doesn't seem to be necessarily paying attention to them, but does seem to be like looking for something. And it like climbs up things at times. It seems like it's trying to get out of the rubble of Old Need, but it doesn't know about like the passageways or stairways, and was actually sort of like hanging out near the base, but doesn't know how to sort of climb up the catwalks that you guys were constructing, and it's just sort of curiously meandering around.
Say there, old fellow, you lost?
It doesn't seem to respond to your voice.
Try hitting it with a hammer. Bong.
Yeah, always helps.
Do not hit the golem with a hammer.
Why not?
Because
Oh, what's the worst that can happen?
golem explodes in a nuclear
I will go up
explosion,
to him.
destroying the whole city.
That's exaggeration.
I'm so glad you guys are having this scene together, but go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, Jack's gonna go up to the golem and see if he can convey to it that it needs to sit down here and wait till tomorrow, and it can help us build the ramp so that it can get it out of the hole. Get
Make a
back up the
persuasion
top
check.
nut. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Let's see what I got to burn here. I'm gonna burn an auto 20 on that.
Okay. You have to like
20, by the way.
yeah. Oh, just a plain 20, no modifier.
No, it's 22 with modifier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to try and get its attention, and you try to explain the situation of how it's in construction and there's no way for it to get out. And you're also not, necessarily willing to try and lead it around or convince it or try and get more information out of it. But you explain the situation to it, and it seems to relatively understand, but it doesn't see... You also get the understanding that it doesn't seem like it's willing to just wait. And you really get this realization when it goes over to a stack of wood and begins sort of trying to cobble it together in the same way that sort of some of these wood slats are sort of set up. And it can't figure it out, but it is trying.
I guess I'll show it the proper way to do it, and then let it do its thing all night.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to roll a crafting check, and you'll be giving it advantage.
Okay.
Easily enough, you understand that it really doesn't have the dexterous capability for tying knots, working with rope, and whatnot, but it is kind of capable of shaving wood and fitting pieces. What it's really good at is actually metalwork. And so you actually kind of show it how to reinforce things and make, these sort of supports and struts. And as it does, you can see its body, perfectly can start to crush and meld these metal bits that would, usually require machines in order to shape properly. And its body begins to heat up the metal, and you show it perfectly how to do it, and it absolutely just starts working on its own, crafting in progress. And after watching it for maybe half an hour, you feel completely fine with leaving it on its own.
Good night, my friend. I will see you in the morning. I'm going to be interested to see what you've done.
Okay. And it tirelessly continues to work.
And I will go off and get that food and drink I was talking about.
Alrighty. I think it is fair enough to say that at this point everyone gets a long rest.
Cool.
Mai, what are you doing?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Alright, you don't have to tell me.
It's being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
What have I been up to this whole time, you mean?
Sure, yeah.
Basically, I probably took a really long walk, a couple miles out of the city.
Okay.
And yeah.
As you get to the outskirts of the city and begin to enter the wild of the forest, and the grass begins to come back, and you see moss growing on rocks and trees, and this naturalness of the earth that you are so used to seeing that's felt so foreign in this, modern world. You feel some sort of comfort come from it. And you're just walking, trying to clear your head, calm down.
It's not so much clearing her head and calming down. I think she's trying to reconnect with herself. Or even trying to connect to something. Like the disconnection from nature and her home and she's just disconnected all over, she feels. And I think she's kind of hoping to find some sort of sign or something to kind of re-spark the fire in her, to tell her if what she's doing or how she's doing it is correct,
Okay.
Guided.
If you would like, you can make a religion check.
She's also walking barefoot.
Okay.
Connect yourself better.
If you would prefer, you can make a nature check.
You said religion or nature?
Yeah.
We'll do nature.
Ooh, nature.
I'm only allowing the nature check because she's barefoot.
I mean, I can't imagine a more legit reason to do a nature check than someone walking around barefoot.
I got 14, but if it's not enough, I will burn for 20.
You tell me what you're gonna do.
I'll burn the 20.
Okay, for a total of?
25.
And this is nature?
Nature.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You walk for a while, and it's at this point that it is getting late, and you know that you should feel tired, and yet somehow you just don't. You don't feel sad or angry, you're just disconnected from everything. You've just lost this feeling, this sort of connection to what life is and what should be and what can be, and all this nonsense. You're just sort of losing the ability to relate and understand to it in a sense that would scare you if not for the fact that you just don't. You're not scared. You don't think or feel anything. And you just walk. And your muscles don't get sore or tired. And you're just walking. And you listen to the sounds of the forest as the wind blows through, the gentle creaking and, the occasional sounds of a bug flying by, or a bird in the distance, or some other animal in the underbrush. And it would be relaxing, or at least bring some solace or recognition to you, and yet you still can't help but feel lost. Even in this world that's full of life and opportunities, these choices, and what it truly means to be alive, you still somehow can't help but feel like maybe there's just nothing to do. Maybe there's nothing out there. There's no end. There's no destiny. There's no journey to make that will all be worth it. There's no reward. Life sucks, and then you die, and you just sort of ponder what it means and what's the purpose. Why are people the way they are? Is it simply because that's what the world makes people, or is that the world that people make? And it's this sort of contemplation that leads to frustration, where you've been forced into this situation that you're just so beyond anything that it's aggravating. And it pushes you beyond disconnection to infuriation. That this is the world's fault. You didn't ask for this, you didn't want this, you didn't do this, and yet this is where you are. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that makes you want to do something about it. So, what would you like to do? The world has told you the way that things are. And if this is your one chance to say no, what would you change? Is that too much?
I mean, not too much. It's just kind of broad. I think she kind of just stops and looking up at the sky, just kind of notices like little seeds falling from the treetops, and she kind of holds her hand out and catches one. And on the thought of this is how the world is, and it not feeling right to her, I think that's stupid. That's makes no sense, that it's just how the world is and nothing should be done or could be done about it. And simply just releases her energy into the seed, and it just catches into blue flame. And I think she just starts walking back.
Okay. As you're walking, as you're heading in a destination, a direction of your own choosing, you know where you're going and what you're going to do. And as you're having this contemplation and realization, you hear a large yawning sound.
Totoro? No.
Take an take an adversity token.
And his name is Totoro. Totoro. Okay.
I thought they were called egg coins now.
Yeah, they are called egg points. Take an egg point.
Yay, I get an egg point.
No, you don't.
Darn.
Not you.
I get the egg point.
Darn.
You're just
Was
as freaking dark. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Whoa.
She's gonna. I mean, her ears are gonna twitch towards where the sound just came from.
The sound came from your hip.
I think she's just gonna slowly look down. I'm assuming this is the bag that she hasn't really looked
You
at.
look down at the large fuzzy pouch that hangs from your side, and you notice that there are two appendages on top of it that seem to be twitching like ears.
She's gonna pick up the bag and hold it up in front of her face.
Okay. As you do so, two slits open up, and suddenly two big eyes flash open, looking at you. And then across the entire side of it, through its middle, a slit opens up, and a large Cheshire smile spreads open, revealing tombstone teeth.
Okay, Cheshire Cat.
It looks like Totoro, if Totoro's head was a squishmallow.
I love this.
I love this too.
Did you just yawn?
Yes.
Oh God, you talk.
Of course I talk, Mai.
And you know my name.
I'm your friend.
I don't like that.
The face gets sad.
No, the player doesn't like that.
Oh.
I'm your friend. I don't. That's so creepy. Stop.
Me Munchkin. Me love you.
No. See, burn it. Burn it down to the ground. The whole forest has to be up there.
Alright, what voice do you want me to give this character?
You can keep that voice, just don't talk like that. Jesus.
Okay. I'm trying to give him like a very dumb and lovable voice, but apparently it's creepy. So
The
I love
voice
it.
is fine. It's what you're saying. It's
Okay, I'm
creepy.
I like it. I think it's kind of cute.
Miss
Shut up,
Mai,
Foxwell, you're not
are
here.
you alright? He's got like this sort of slow, sleepy voice. That's what I was trying to go for.
Yeah, kind of. You okay? You could make him miss words too. I think that would get him across cutely. But like the rock trolls from Witcher.
I don't.
You look up YouTube videos later and you'll understand what I mean.
You'll send me some later.
I will. But
Why sad?
yeah, exactly like that.
Okay, yeah, that is kind of cute.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm processing this. You're a living plot.
He smiles.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, member?
No. I don't think I do.
You found me. I was all alone. Left alone, far away. And you found me. Also, the strap that you hold onto it is actually like this big tail.
Okay.
So he like kind of unspools that and kind of like wraps it around you, because that's the only appendage he has. So he's kind of like playing, but kind of just like resting it on you. Since you're holding him, he doesn't have to hold on to himself.
Okay. Well, this is just at the top of the list of things I'm accepting, I guess.
I'm always here for you. You can talk to me. I'll always listen.
That's reassuring or scary. Alright. Well...
I can't promise I'll always remember.
Well, it's good to meet you again, I guess?
Nice to meet you. He smiles.
You have a name? Did I give you a name, or you have one?
You named me Munchkin.
Munchkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, well...
I mean, it's
Munchkin.
just a holding title. If you want to rename him, you can.
I probably will, but yeah, that's okay. Well, friend, I wouldn't say I'm sad. Why do I look sad?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can count on you to be honest. Alright, well, around my shoulder you go. We're gonna go back to my friends now, and I'm gonna ask that you probably don't talk until I tell them that you can talk.
Okay.
Probably just, yeah, take a nap, buddy. I will.
You can always talk to me.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a good listener.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start walking now. I'm just gonna keep walking back to the
Oh,
Jeez.
gosh dang it.
Jeez.
I've ruined another lovable character.
I think you just have to find the voice. It's not.
Yeah, you just gotta find the voice.
It's not the character.
It's okay.
It's okay. I think it's cute. It's just.
It is cute.
The idea is cute. The presentation's a little creepy.
The presentation's a little murder me in my sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's like, what's the Babadook?
No.
Kid like scare.
He's
horror
literally a
stories and tell it night.
squishmallow.
No, I know. I know that, and that's very cute. The character is cute. I just think you gotta work on the voice, and you'll find it soon. But it's just
okay.
I will send you videos of what I was talking about earlier.
Sure.
And I think you'll understand.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway.
Are there any final things that we want to do, or should we call it here for the night?
I don't think I have anything.
Okay.
Other than I would double
We can call this a
check-
session.
Double check that my siblings are okay.
We'll have to do that next session.
Oh, Jesus. Which one of their limbs did you take?
I was planning on getting a lot more stuff this session, but I think it was good that we went slow. I think that's what this needs to be.
Yeah, I think one more session at least with
Yeah, I've been really pushing for these past couple ones, and I think it's time that I just let you, lease back on the reins and let you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
Jack, did you have any final things for the next morning, I suppose?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay.
Probably go back and check and see how that automaton, or not the automaton, the golem was doing.
Sure. Yeah, he's still working.
Oh yeah, how did Jack's house fare?
Oh, that's true. Let me see. Jack's house is not completely demolished. More like the cave kind of collapsed in, and so basically his roof collapsed, but like the cave didn't like collapse on it. Basically, it's fairly accessible. You have to dig through a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily immediately accessible. You could probably get some friends to like come and help clear it out for you, at least get you access to your bedroom, or you could stay with someone else for the night.
So I just got higher ceilings. I just have to clear the rubble out now.
Yeah. Okay. And as the first day concludes, Malachi makes it back to his tower, and he looks at the rubble and debris, and the scorched walls, and his life's work completely destroyed. His valuable tomes that he spent most of his life making reduced to ash. And then he turns and walks into another room. A room that contains several containers. Large canisters that one would contain a creature, perhaps, of some kind. And he looks at the destroyed remnants of one of them that Talia escaped from. And then he looks to one of the containers near the back of the room. And his face frowns as he realizes that there's something moving inside.